So you've generated your idea of you jumping on a trampoline. You were telling me you were playing a game called High Hill. And so is the person jumping on the trampoline?
Someone has to pick who's gonna be the person that says, like, you, and someone has to pick the person that goes up on the trampoline, and they sing, like, there's someone on the high hill, they always answer me, and then they say yoo-hoo. The person who's supposed to say yoo-hoo says yoo-hoo, and then when they do it 2 times, the 3rd time, they have to try to guess who says yoo-hoo.
Oh.
Weird noise.
So maybe our opener could be, our starting, what'd you say? There's someone on the high hill, they always answer me. That could be your opener, and then you could have someone else saying yoo-hoo. Now, I'm just thinking about what we were talking about before we got started, and when we talk about great writers, sometimes they use font to make it. The person on the trampoline, are they yelling?
No,
Or are they just kind of singing?
Yeah, they just kind of like singing.
Now, what about the person that yells yoo-hoo? What do they?
They like just say yoo-hoo in a weird voice.
So could you use like a weird font to say yoo-hoo in your writing? Okay, so let's do our opener. So there's someone on the high hill, and they always answer me, and then you'll do yoo-hoo. Okay, I'm gonna come back and see how the font you picked. Okay. So now we've got our writing done. And I really like your opener because you said, someone sings a song that goes like this. There's someone on the hill, and they always, or on the high hill, and they always answer me. Answer me yoo-hoo. And I like in your picture even how you added yoo-hoo up there. And then you're explaining how they play the game. So you sing that a couple times, and then the person has to guess who's saying yoo-hoo in the funny voice. I think I really like your opener, and I really like the way you generated your idea. So you drew a picture, you came up with your opener, and then you've added some great detail here. So you should be really proud of this writing, okay? So you used your imagination. So you wrote a fiction story here, okay? And I like the text features, because especially when we look at our anchor chart, when we talked about some of the text features that Peter Reynolds used, he used automatopoeias. And you have lots of them in here. So you have the goose went honk, honk, honk as it was flying. And I like that you even put a little speech bubble, honk, honk, honk. And then you have the hummingbird going hum, hum, hum. So what's happening in your story? Can you tell me what's happening in your story?
When the goose was flying and the hummingbird was following it, the hummingbird wanted its attention, but the hummingbird just flew off when it looked back.
When you look back, okay. And what's the goose doing?
Flying.
All right, and you said up in the sky, and then you said you and Neha say, you wanted to get a closer look?
Yeah.
So did you climb a hill to get a closer look?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm looking at this, and maybe that's a detail that you want to add. So when you climb the hill, how did you climb the hill? Did you crawl up the hill, did you walk up the hill, or did you run up the hill?
Run up the hill.
So we ran up the hill to get a closer look. Okay, so I think that's a detail that we add. So because remember we talked about using describing words so I can close my eyes and I can picture that. And now when you add that, I can picture you guys running up the hill to see this goose. Okay? So there's some detail we can add right in here. So me and Neha wanted to look closer, so we ran up the hill as fast as we could. Okay? So we can just put a little arrow to add that in, okay? Put a little carrot here. Okay. So you've asked me, what should you do to add some of the senses? So here you say, guess what I am going to do outside. So I think that's a good opener. Now, I'm wondering, when we looked at Peter Reynolds' book and we talked about the font he used, could you change any font in here to maybe to add emphasis on a word to make it say? So
I should change outside in capitals?
Guess what I'm going to do outside? Maybe there's another word that you might do. Let's read it. Guess what I'm going to do outside.
Guess?
Well, I like guess, but do you want to be excited about the guess? So which one is kind of your question word?
That one.
Well, when we think of questions, what's a question like? You have guess as word, but I'm thinking of another word that helps us with our question. Because there's a certain word here that tells me to guess outside. Well, let's think. Guess what I am going to do outside. Would it make sense if you said, guess why I am going to do outside?
No.
So what word might you put, could you change the font of?
What?
Yeah, what might you do with what?
Put it in capitals?
Okay, let's try that and see how it reads.
Oh.
Here, let's just use this pencil for now.
Guess. What?
Alright, so let's see. Guess what I am going to do outside? I am going to play lions. I am going to be the cub. Jada is going to be the big sister. And Maya is going to be the mom. Now you said, how can I add a hearing sensor, the sound? So could you add some onomatopoeias to it? A cub. What kind of sound does a cub make?
I play two.
Could you? Are there different sounds that maybe the cub and the big sister and the mom might they make different lion sounds?
I don't know.
Well, what sounds does a lion make? What does a lion make?
Like a roar sound?
A roar sound. So if I'm a little cub, is my roar going to be loud?
No, not really. No.
And then if I'm the big sister, is my roar going to be a little bit louder than the cub?
Yeah, just a little bit.
And what about the mom?
Very loud.
So could you use different font sizes for the roars? If the cub, what size would the roar be on the cub? Would it be big or small?
Small.
And then what about the big sister?
Hey, Hawk, who's gonna be the dad?
About medium, and then what about the mom?
Big.
Yeah, so that could be something that we could add in, okay?
Okay.
So I'm reading all your detailing. You did some great jobs. You've got onomatopoeias in here, you've got a lot of sensory detail. So bring, went the counter at the shop. The cashier enjoyed the soft music and the beautiful sight of food. He enjoyed conversations with people. It was a great job. You could hear the cool ring sound of the bell as people came in. After he goes home, he sits in his comfy chair and watches TV on his bright black TV. So I like that. I'm wondering two things as the reader. What TV show does he watch? Is it a movie? Is it a show?
It's a food show.
A food show? Okay. And is a food show, what's it about? Is it about cooking? Okay. So you could say, is it his favorite show?
Yeah. His
So-
favorite show called cooking.
So,
And show called cooking fun.
okay. So watches his favorite show called Cooking Fun. It teaches him about cooking. What kind of foods does it teach him how to cook?
Cakes.
Cakes. That sounds exciting. Let's add some of that so the reader's now wondering. I'm wondering about this show and it sounds awesome. Okay?